I chose the University of Oxford, and particularly the Department of International Relations here, largely because it provided a great sort of wealth of resources, as well as an opportunity to explore a question that I don't think is well explored.
Oxford is a place where you can understand both the theoretical dynamics of the international politics we see in the news every day, but also learn methods to study them and acquire the language resources that might enable you to sort of understand these dynamics playing out in their own local contexts.
I knew that I'd get all the practical training I needed to then conduct my own experiments and potentially do a DPhil.
I like to be challenged, and I think the program is challenging enough, but it's highly rewarding as well.
The thing that made Oxford actually really excellent for me was just the theoretical focus. So some of the mainstream IR theories that I'm using, that I'm applying, a lot of the scholars are based here. So I wanted access to them, basically. That's why I came here.
The type of feedback you get both from professors and instructors and lecturers, as well as your fellow students, is quite informative. It helps you think of topics in different ways, ask questions you wouldn't have asked otherwise, and hopefully stumble on answers that you wouldn't have found without that type of engagement.
There is a lot of training, and so you get the opportunity to see how the disciplines, the topics that you're interested in might be approached from different methodological perspectives.
The teaching is excellent. I think the one-on-one supervision is probably the best part of my degree here at Oxford so far, and I know that's something that people in other courses also point to. Because when you have an hour to interact with an expert in a field, you really are able to probe some of the deep cleavages and divisions in these big questions to get a better sense of what you think is plausible and what you think isn't, to be challenged to defend your view or maybe to concede that you can't defend it. It's a really wonderful part of the Oxford system and of the MPhil in international relations in particular.
There is a very high ratio of tutors to students. Whenever we have a lecture or a seminar, it's always a very small group, which means that everyone has a lot more time to discuss their own views and confront this with other people.
If you've been a shy person, you get the opportunity to be much more proactive, much more involved. On the contrary, if you've always been a very proactive and outgoing person, you learn some more humility and more capability of listening, and on the two sides ends up being sort of developing the self-awareness that knowledge is a collective enterprise.
So much of your research is on your own, and so the more opportunities you have to share and to hear what your peers think, the more helpful it is.
The community of people here is really diverse. That makes discussions really interesting and really lively.
Everyone's really sociable, so you meet new people all the time. And through meeting new people, you then get to discuss what they're studying as well, which can be very different to yours, so that can be quite interesting. Or it can be a little bit similar to yours, which is very useful.
My first advice would be apply. It's a great process to go through. It's great working on a proposal that you then hand in. Even if you're maybe uncertain if Oxford is the right place for you, try to apply, get your ideas on somebody's table, and if people are interested in what you do, they will get back to you.
I would encourage you to come to Oxford if you're looking for an intense academic experience, a chance to engage with worldviews different than your own, perhaps worldviews that are uncomfortable or difficult to absorb at first, a place if you want to think analytically and to question all of the sort of categories and assumptions underlying your thinking, a place where really any question is taken seriously. It's been a very interesting, comprehensive and engaging experience, and I'm confident that I've become a much more sophisticated and analytical thinker as a result of the teaching here.
I think Oxford really just provides an excellent array of resources and expertise, and it's really just an excellent atmosphere to pursue your own research. I think you're really spoiled by all of the conferences and talks that happen. You're in an extremely stimulating environment, which really just makes being a student here a true pleasure.